Good afternoon, folks. This is Marius from mariuslandman.com and from the Twitter handle landm_Marius. Today we are going to get into a YouTube video explaining to you what is actually happening with Litecoin right now at the moment. And if you can remember, approximately 3 to 4 weeks ago, I made this video that said that Litecoin could take only 6 upswing days to reach $1,000 at any time. What I meant with that is that between the next 30 and 60 days at the time when I did the video, said that at any time in the next 60 days, 45 to 60 days, is that Litecoin is going to take 6 days to have a massive parabolic upswing to reach $1,000 or more. And yes, that prediction is still in place. Nothing is wrong with that prediction. It is going to happen. And I'm going to show you how we are going to get there by using cycle analysis and breaking up certain months and days, and also showing you the arc percentages, how we are going to get there. History always repeats itself, and we are hoping that in this case that we are in the 7th cycle in 2018, that history will definitely then repeat itself again. So without further ado, let's get into this. What I've done to save some time, I've broken up my 7 cycles for last year, or for that specific Litecoin year, into my 7 cycles. And then you'll see the red lines on this side, and then you'll see the green lines on this side, which is between 28 and 31 days. So you've got cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And notice that on this side here where the red lines are, we've got 7 cycles. And on this side here, we've got 7 cycles as well, which are the green ones. And now we are turning into the red cycles again, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, going forward into 2019. Now, what's going to happen as we go into 2019 is that the cycles actually gets disrupted due to an algorithmic change and 2 other things which are called price suppression and manipulation. Now, my algorithm that we have developed to sustain the price, or to adequately validate the price direction of Litecoin, is something that we are working on now. We've built in artificial intelligence. We're looking at price suppression. We're looking at manipulation as well, to give you the future price direction of Litecoin as well as Bitcoin. And we were pretty accurate in the beginning of the year, where we actually went and identified every single high and low point. So you can see here that we identified that high point for Bitcoin there. We also went and identified the low point here. We identified that point there, which was 11,700, I think, where we told our subscribers to get out. And then obviously we identified that point there, which was the low point just now recently, where we said that Bitcoin will not go lower than 6,500. That is while everybody in the world was calling for Bitcoin actually to crash. One thing that we did have wrong was we thought that we are only going to drop from there onwards about 8%, which is about there. And you can see that Bitcoin actually went a little bit lower, but we expect a breakout somewhere here as per that blue arrow. So yeah, folks, we won't have everything 100% correct, but with most of the major high, major low points, that is what we can identify for you. And as we get into the year of 2019, 2020, 2021, we will get better and better at these. We will not be able to identify every single point, like for example, that low point there, that high point there. Those are not the ones that we are really interested in, into those little points there. We are interested in that point there, this low point here, because we're going to sell on the high and sell on the high, buy on the low. Anyway, we don't want to talk about Bitcoin today, but let's just get into Litecoin here, and I'm going to show you something that may surprise you and may stun you. Okay, let me just zoom out, and many of you have actually watched this video. By the way, many of these updates that I give them to premium members. Here's my trading notes of 27 May, what we do, etc., etc. All our reports are there, and we've also got archive reports. So what I recommend is just go to Get Membership. You click on Get Membership there, and we only charge $24 per month. No, we don't charge $1,000 per year. We don't charge $1,500 per year like some companies recently just doing. All you need is just this, folks. So you don't need much. It's $24 per month. We've given you a discount from $49.95, so take advantage of that. Become a premium member. When you become a premium member, you will have this block that pop up, and you will have the premium members access, which is that one there. On this point on the left top, as you can see where I hover my mouse, is the premium member Telegram group. You click on that and you go to the Telegram website, where I post approximately 30 updates on a monthly basis. Very important that you need to have those updates. Those updates relate to these reports that we bring out, report 36, and if there's any changes to that, I actually would post information on Telegram, which I don't post on Twitter. Twitter is good. We post some information on Twitter there. There's a lot of spam there as well. So we've just said there that Mario is not giving away Ethereum. So make sure that you don't click on these spam accounts that take your money. If you give them money, really, guys, just don't be that. I don't want to give the word to you, but be a little bit more smart. Be clever. Don't just give people money. We won't do that. We won't ask you for any money, Yeah, so just follow me on Twitter as well. So let's get into Litecoin quickly, because I think that is what everybody really wants to know. Okay, as you can see from my previous video, the one that I said that Litecoin could only take 6 upswing days to reach $1,000, and we said at that point, about a month, 3 to 4 weeks ago, that it's going to take between the 45 and 60 days to achieve that. So if we come back here, we'll see there's cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we soon going to draw that in and show you the arc where we predict Litecoin to go. History repeated itself. In this case, as I zoom in here, you will see that we've got an arc here from the low to the high point, from the low to the high point, and every single time there's a percentage gain. And I've got a video as well, which I haven't uploaded yet, where I actually show these cycles to be somewhere in the vicinity of 7 days. This goes down to 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. This is 12 days. And then further on here, it breaks down to 3 days, 3 days, 2 days, 2 days, 1 days. So you'll actually see that as we go ahead here now, after we've reached the 7 arc cycle, that from here onwards 2019, that we're going to turn into either a 36-day cycle, or it can break down into different cycles of 36, 42 days, and 14 days as well. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to identify the cycles there, since once we repeat these cycles, they turn into something else, which I don't want to explain now. It's some of our proprietary information that we have. Okay, so let me quickly explain to you what is happening here. Okay, you will see that we had a breakout here, and in that cycle 1, and I've marked them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they correlate with these arcs, which are 7 as well. And then as we go in here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cycles, and then we start with a new cycle as well. So to give you an idea where we are now, here we are at this specific price, which is $118. We expect it to go probably a little bit sideways, then break down before it shoots up. So we can probably move that arrow probably a little bit onwards, somewhere in the vicinity of that direction. But surely it's going to break down. The blue line there is support, so you could even see Litecoin come down to about $110 or $112. Let's just quickly have a look and see. We could even break that line, so we could see Litecoin come down to approximately $109. So just keep that in mind, that it could happen. But folks, look, what you need to understand with Litecoin, whether you bought Litecoin at $300 or buying it now at $109, in the long term of things, it is not going to matter. If you were one of those people that bought at $300, I was the same. I bought Litecoin at $300 and it went up 320 and I sold and constantly buy back and sell, buy back and sell. It doesn't matter if you have bought at 300 and you're still holding it. What's going to come next is something that will stun you. It's going to stun the world. There's no stocks in the world that will go up as much as cryptocurrencies. And Litecoin is not a dead coin. It's going to stun the world. It's going to stun you. You will be amazed as your bank account rises in value from 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. The time has come for you to make some money. And I really believe that we're on that verge. And I constantly tell my subscribers to be patient. Folks, you need to go to the Chinese and understand how the Chinese work. Of all the trolls that I get on Twitter, the impatient are the people that troll me the most. They want to invest $10,000 today, wake up in 2 weeks from now, and that must be $50,000. It doesn't work like that, folks. Most likely what is going to work is that you are going to invest $10,000, you're going to have a drop, and from the $10,000, you're lucky if you have $6,000 left. And so you're going to ride that emotions up and down, up and down. When you invest, you need to invest for the long term and know that you are going to make that money. So some of us, we bought here at $200, $300. This thing is going to go ballistic and it's going to go to $900, $1,000 and above. And let me show you why I am saying this. Okay, now let's have a look at history. Okay, in this cycle that we see, and let me just draw some lines here to explain this probably a little bit better for you. So if we look at that, and remember guys, for those people that hit me on technical analysis and say that I don't know what I talk about and all that, congratulations. I am not a technical analyst and I don't want to be one. I'm a trend forecaster. And if I can't make something simple and easy for the normal guy to understand, then I'm not interested in making that trading analysis. I want to make it easy for the normal guy on the street to understand. And that's why we are going to draw this little line here to show you that we have got a bullish pennant. A bullish pennant is something that actually goes up here, okay, and then creates a bullish pennant by having let me just draw that in there as well, by just having 5 subwaves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, okay, just 5 lines, more or less, okay. So let's take them out before the trolls come again and say that we don't know what we talk about, okay. But for the purpose of this, it's an illustration to give you an idea of what is happening. So what we have here is a bullish pennant, or let's call it a triangle. On this side here, you can see the same triangle. Now see that blue arrow here? Now let's draw a blue arrow in here as well. There is the blue arrow. Okay, so let's zoom in and let me show you that this has happened. Okay, there is a breakout at this point here. Okay, so you need to stop this video if I'm going too fast, because you really need to understand what I'm showing you here. Now look at that breakout there, okay? Look at that breakout there. Okay, look at that breakout there. Okay, so we are now looking at 7 and 1. There is 7 and 1. So look at that breakout there. So don't you think that this looks eerie similar? Eerie similar to what happened the previous year. So exactly on this line between 7 and 1, there's a little bit of a drop and then a breakout and then it goes up. There's a little bit of a drop. Look there, 1, 1. We go sideways, we go up. We go sideways there again, there sideways again, and then we go up to the high. Okay, so what you can see here is that what has happened here, and understand this very carefully, what has happened here has repeated itself exactly there. Okay, so by now I hope that you do understand that.
I'm sorry, I don't have any places to show.
Okay. So now let's quickly get into this further. Okay, once we've got that upside potential where it's actually breaking up there, the same as what is done there in cycle one. There we go, cycle one. It went down. So that's why I'm drawing that arrow there over the 2 periods here where it actually went into a down cycle. And that down cycle is approximately there. Then we went up, exactly what we did there. We went up, down, to create basically, and this is just basically, folks, where we actually have these up cycles, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then at this point we've got 1, we've got 2, and let me just draw that in for you. So this one here is a low, and from there it's a high, and then we get the next one is a low cycle. And so you can see here, that's a low cycle, that's an up cycle, that's a low cycle, and then we get an up cycle there, and we get a low cycle here. Okay, so let me just draw that in there. So what you can see here is down, up, down, and now we are going to go up. Okay, exactly what you see here. Down, up, down, up, down, and then it breaks out. Now let's for a moment focus on what is happening between these two segments. Number 6 there and 7 there, and then we're going to look at 6 and 7 at this point here. Now what I've done is that you'll notice that these are all 14-day segments. You can see they're 14 days, 14, 14, 14, and then we turn into 30 days, 31, 31, 30, 30, 30, 30, on average around 30 days. And this last column here actually shows, which is the 6th or the 4th of June rather, which is the time that I said that we are going to see Bitcoin as well as Litecoin break upwards. Now what has happened here in number 6 is that you can see that we actually had a down cycle there, but then it started breaking out there. Now remember, these are just approximate, guys. You need to go back into the previous cycles to understand exactly what happened there. And if you go and investigate that, you'll see that they're all the same. Now because we are on an 8-hour time frame, it just suppresses the movement or the view for the eye. But if you go and investigate that, you'll see that we actually went from there down, and then it started breaking up there. So what we expect to happen next is exactly a repeat of what happened here in Litecoin. And I've drew these arrows in here so that you can actually have a look and see. So from here onwards, we can have a little bit of a sideways movement, and then we're going to start breaking up sideways again, and then come this point here between number 7 and 1, which is again here. Let me see if I can actually what's the best way of illustrating that? Perhaps maybe just draw a, okay, have a look at that. Let's make that pink and pink. Okay, so now you will be able to see what I mean. I'm talking about this area there, which will reflect what is going to happen in this area here. Okay, so what we are saying is we are approximately somewhere around there. So we are going to expect something that will actually move up, go sideways, and then break out. Okay, so let me just take this out just to clear the screen up a little bit. Now, okay, let's say if we take this arc, and I'm going to clone this and just move this here to this that low point there. And this is what we said in the previous video, that we expect Litecoin to do something similar like this, and then go up that percentage of 954%. And the reason we came to that 954% is because we basically took the low, and the low is more or less just there. So we get about 928, 920%. And so we'll take the low there. around about 920%, and that will give us just more or less about $900 or basically $1,000 actually. So you can see we're now at 1,120 if history repeats itself, which is going to happen. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here is our number 7 arch. Okay, so in our opinion, that is definitely going to happen. Now look at this. We drew this red line here, and we said that approximately on that point, that's where we expect it to happen. But in essence, we appear to be approximately 28 to 45 days too early, meaning that there were two things that happened. We had price suppression and we had manipulation, which basically interacts with itself. The powers that be can push this out as long as they want. Okay, one other interesting thing, just want to draw this line for you. If you look at from the beginning where it broke out and you draw that line there, okay, now let's say if we take that line and we duplicate that line, and we take that line and take it exactly from the fact, sorry, that one should actually be till there, the breakout. If we clone that line there and we move that there and we clone that again, we get a timeline for the breakout. So look at this. Okay, so we've actually got a timeline, a potential timeline, which is 18 June for the breakout to happen, because this green segment here is 2 times the length of that, because this is 14 days times 2 is 28, 30, and is more or less around about that. So we look at a breakout of about 18 June for Bitcoin to start reaching 320, 900, and then 1,000. Now, let me give you something else. Okay, let's take this percentage. Okay, for me to take a percentage, I'm going to go back to where in cycle number 6, and I'm going to take this line and take that line up to the low point where we are now, and right up to the high point of that. So that gives us 715% gain. If history is going to repeat itself, I need to go here right down to the bottom there, and remember I'm going to duplicate the 715% by going right here to the low point, let's say approximately there, and I'm going to bring that down to 715%, more or less. Okay, so what we have got here is $910. Okay, so what we are saying is that between this time frame here of the 18th of June and then the time frame of this one here, which is 20 July, and let me just draw a line in there as well about 20 July. And the reason I say halfway in the cycle is because if I go back here and I have a look in this cycle here, let's just zoom in here, look where it broke out. In the beginning of this cycle, if that is half, then the first half of the cycle, it actually went to the all-time high. So what I'm saying here, folks, is that this time frame here, we could see a breakout of Litecoin on 18 June, and we could see an all-time high on 24 July. So let's say 24 July 2018, we could basically see the all-time high. Now remember, this is just a indication. It's a assumption. Okay, but I tell you what, folks, everything that we predicted is going to come true. This is about 5% of our analysis that we use, and the rest of the information I don't really want to show on a YouTube video, but there is more data that is pointing that we are going to break out and hit 1,483 at some point very, very soon. Okay? Bitcoin and Litecoin is not dead. These are amazing coins. They are going to make you a lot of money. All you need to do is just to be a little bit patient, because these cycles, they will repeat themselves. And going into 2018 and 2019 and 2020, we are going to see a lot different cycles going on here. And there's also going to be, once we reach the all-time high somewhere around here, there is going to be a big crash point. Now, this is why I say that it's really important that you become a member. Go to Get Membership. It's only $24 a month. For that, we provide you on Telegram with a huge amount of information. You'll go into the private members group here, private members Telegram, and that is where I will provide a lot more information for you going forward. If this looks complicated to you, I'm sorry, but you really need to understand how cycles work. The 7 cycles, which are 14 days here, and the 7 cycles, which are 30 days in this area. So we are saying, just to sum it up, that Litecoin is going to break out somewhere here. And because of the fact that history repeated itself at every single point, every single cycle, history repeated itself. What I am saying to you now is that history is going to repeat itself here as well. We are behind with approximately 30, 45, maybe 60 days. We would have liked to see that $90, probably a little bit there, where these time frames would have been less, around about 24 to 21 days. But we've noticed that these time frames have been moving on every single time. And this is what I said, folks, right in the beginning of the year in my reports, where I said that we are going to have 2 things. Number 1 is time expansion. Second thing is manipulation. And then one of the other things that is really important, and I've said that every single time, percentage gain is more important than time. Meaning that the levels that we predict, if we say that Litecoin is going to go to 1,483, I tell you now it's going to happen. It's a matter of time. So don't troll me on Twitter because we now say that this is going to happen on 24 July. This is a probability. It's a very strong probability. So in my opinion, I will be really amazed if we do not reach that level, simply because of the fact that what has happened here, and again, let me draw that in for you so that you can understand that properly. What has happened here in this area is going to repeat itself in that area there. And this is why I'm really bullish on Bitcoin and bullish on Litecoin as well. My bullishness for, sorry for this entire mess here, is what I said with Bitcoin as well in my reports, is that, you know, it's going to come down here, we are going to consolidate there, and then it's going to start moving up. Okay, so our first target here is 9663. I do not see Bitcoin breaking down to a lower level. As a matter of fact, also one of the most important things that you should also understand is that if you look at this low point here in Bitcoin, that low point there and that low point here, is that we are possibly establishing a 3-point down, which could result in a massive move upwards. But nonetheless, I will make a video on Bitcoin at some other point. We are only talking about Litecoin at the moment. It's not going to go down, it's going to go up, folks. So again, yeah, good luck on this. Good luck for those of you who are holding on to Litecoin. We've got no reason to believe that we are going to go further down. As a matter of fact, we could slightly go down a little bit more. But ultimately, guys, I invest for the long term. I invest for those days that Litecoin could only take a few days to hit $1,000 gain. What happens if you are going to sell here? You could potentially miss when Litecoin decides to pop and just move $400 a day, $300 the next day, $200 the next day, and bang, it's at $1,300 within 3, 4, 5 days. You were on holiday, or you were sleeping, or you were crying about losing and Litecoin not going up. You need to stay positive. You need to constantly look at what is happening around you. And more important, folks, this is what I say, get into our Telegram group. It's important. That's where we're going to give you all these updates. We will do the thinking for you. We will do the work for you. Okay? So yeah, all good. Nice messy chart. Apologies for all the confusion in this, but nonetheless, the point that I want to make is Litecoin is going to go up to $1,000. And our target that we set, 24 July. But remember, the spike is going to happen around about 18 June. With that said, guys, I'm logging off. Have a fantastic day and be blessed. Talk to you soon.